Walmart has really suffered. It's on the upswing today in trading, and we can get to that actually, but take a look at it here overall. So you can see ticking up a little bit higher, and this may just be because people are like, wow, it was so beaten down. But you had shares actually seeing their worst 10-day period in 20 years. I mean, that's saying something, right? Because Walmart is one of those companies that I think a lot of people look to in the investing world as kind of the stalwart that's going to do okay, sort of no matter what, because even in an environment where the economy is struggling, you have a lot of people still shopping at Walmart. They'll still choose to shop at Walmart. In fact, a lot of people that may have shopped someplace nicer before will go and shop at Walmart. So usually it's kind of one of those recession-proof investments. But when you factor in the threat of a boycott from MAGA, ooh, now you're talking a whole different ballgame, right? And that's what came up. And don't forget, it's dealing with the tariff issue. And then you couple in the reality that MAGA got really, really, really upset this past week. And sure enough, you got the stock looking at its worst 10-day streak in 20 years. And the reason MAGA was so upset was because there's an heiress, a woman who actually married into the family. Here's a picture of her. And her name is Christy Walton. She's one of the wealthiest people in the world. And she is the widow of the son of the Walmart founder. So when he passed away, she inherited part of the company. She's worth some $18 billion, and she owns 2% of Walmart. And she decided to come forward with this ad that she put, and everybody noticed. Anna Paulina Luna, she was actually on the show last week talking about this. She actually tweeted this one out. Look, Walmart heiress Christy Walton is funding full-page color ad in the New York Times for No King's Day, a nationwide counter-protest scheduled for Trump's birthday, organized by far-left groups. And she's making the point that maybe Walmart is actually really, really upset about those China tariffs in ways that, maybe you didn't anticipate. I'd also say that this is somebody, Christy Walton herself, who has a very liberal bent. In fact, if you look at her history of donations, which we did, she's donated previously to the Lincoln Project $500,000 to the Lincoln Project. And since 2020, she actually hosted a fundraiser in Jackson Hole for Kamala Harris's campaign. She's very, very much into philanthropy and green stuff and, fine, okay? But what's the expression, don't bite the hand that feeds you? You can understand why conservative voters said, hey, Walmart, that company that we have made a success, that family that we have made successful because we have patronized Walmart, we have shopped there, and now to have one of their family members come out and kind of stick it to us, that didn't go over so well. I mean, it really didn't go over so well. And you actually had Walmart as a company coming out and saying, oh, no. You know what? She's not one of us. She's not involved in any way, shape, or form. We condemn this violence, including when it's directed towards law enforcement and the damaging of property. As a company with associates and customers in the Los Angeles area, we remain focused on their safety and that of the impacted associates. This is in regards to, remember, the protests that were going on just recently in LA. And so you had this Walmart vice president come out, and actually, to his credit, he got on it right away. So they're no fools, right? They know where their bread is buttered, so to speak. They don't need a Target like boycott. They don't need a Bud Light boycott because one rogue heiress decides to get out there and take out her ads and go really public with something. They also pointed out that the advertisements from Christy Walton are in no way connected to nor endorsed by Walmart. She does not serve on the board. That's an important distinction, nor play any role in decision-making at Walmart. In other words, the woman's nowhere near the company. Don't even think about it. You know what? She's distant. She's just the crazy heiress that's going to do that stuff. But you can see why people got upset, because if Walmart looks like it's inserting itself into the political dialogue like Target did, like Bud Light did, well, then that's going to be a problem. So already people were talking about boycotting. I saw huge response from you guys. Even on this page, you're like, I'm not shopping at Walmart anymore. I don't want any part of this. I don't want to line her pockets. Again, I mean, until she divests completely from the company, right? Every time the stock price is going up, you are technically lining her pockets. I should point out that Trump has been very hard on Walmart because Walmart is upset about these tariffs from China. don't forget, this company started in what? 1960, 1962 in Arkansas, and it used to be Walmart with the dash in the middle. Here I am in New Hampshire, and our next door neighbors were from Mississippi. They loved Walmart, and they knew all about it. I think they introduced my family to Walmart way back in the day when we first got one, and everybody used to call it the Walmart. I'm going to the Walmart. And they used to actually sell a lot of American-made products. They had a big campaign. And it started to shift maybe in the 1990s, right? With this globalization, China became more and more powerful and started bringing in more manufacturing. And that's when you started to see this shift. And now the company relies quite heavily on all these Chinese manufactured goods. So what did tariffs mean for Walmart? They might mean some higher prices. Does the company then pass those prices on to consumers? That's what they said they would do. And Donald Trump had no use for that. And he was like, hey, tell them to just eat the tariffs. They're going to eat the tariffs, all right? Consumers are not going to pay for that. Now, I'm a capitalist. You're a capitalist, I assume. And you know, Donald Trump's a capitalist. So I think he knows that Walmart probably doesn't want to eat the tariffs. They're not going to operate at a loss or anything. I mean, maybe they can have a little less profitability. What they're going to try and do is figure out how much people can tolerate, right? That's what happens in a free market. You'll say, well, can we raise prices? And if we can, we will. If people will pay it, then that'll be that. But if they won't pay it, then we're going to have to reduce our margins. And that's how it'll play out. But let's go back to what he said on Truth Social. He said, Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as is said, eat the tariffs. Gosh, they should do like a little, you remember the cats and the dogs thing? That would be a good one. Eat the tariffs. They can do a little meme to that one. And not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching until you're customers. We shall see. You guys, I'm laughing at you, Sam Walton, right? Like Sam Walton was amazing. And I think Sam Walton would be like just shocked by everything that has happened. And the world has changed so much and it's going to continue changing. Scott Bessent was on NBC recently saying, yeah, they're going to have to eat the tariffs. They're going to eat them. So as a shareholder, hey, no wonder the companies between the tariffs and the boycott, yikes, that's why it was looking at losing 5.4% over the course of 10 days. Its worst showing in a 10-day period in 20 years, okay? Again, it has picked up a little bit today. And Barron's actually was predicting this, saying, it's gotten so beaten down, there may be some opportunity in this stock. And, indeed, we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. I actually don't think that the tariffs are going to be as miserable for Walmart or the country as some have suggested. Meanwhile, Bessent speaking about this recently on NBC. Let's listen.
Ask you about Walmart. This big news from Walmart. It says it will start raising prices on its consumers, Mr. Secretary, as early as this month due to the tariffs. Now, President Trump out with a very stern warning on social media saying Walmart, quote, should eat the tariffs, adding the company made far more than expected last year. Is the president asking American companies to be less profitable?
I was on the phone with Doug McMillon, the CEO of Walmart, yesterday, and Walmart is, in fact, going to, as you describe it, eat some of the tariffs that just as they did in 18, 19, and 20. The other thing, though, that we are seeing that Doug passed along to me, that with their consumer, the single most important thing is the gasoline price. And gasoline prices have collapsed under President Trump. So we are seeing that. The other thing that will happen, that is a direct tax cut for consumers. Then the transportation costs are also a big input. Yeah. So let's see what happens.
And that's fair. I would say that everything that's going on overseas right now is leading to some higher prices on the oil front, at least temporarily. Although today crude oil futures are down slightly, almost 0.2%. So again, we'll watch this pretty carefully. But over the last 3 months, or rather even just in the last month, I should point this out because prices had gone down. You were looking at crude oil around $61 a barrel in the futures market, and now we're looking at 75. So that's a pretty significant uptick Between you and me, I actually bought an oil ETF right around that time, actually anticipating some of this challenge. And look, it's not going to be great for the administration. Obviously, what's going on overseas is a problem for oil prices. Perhaps just another reminder why we need to be energy sufficient and independent ourselves right here in the US of A, right? All the more reason why you want projects that are investing in energy here in the USA. But, the Walton family, they've done pretty well, shall we say, off of mainstream America. And as a result of that, I think people have really kind of sort of reacted very negatively, and understandably so, because they feel a little jilted when they see a family member out doing what Christy Walton has done. If you're interested in investing, maybe in Walmart or oil or stocks or any of that, take a look at 76research.com. That's my company, my financial research company. I started with a dear friend, and we have a lot of ideas on there for you. In fact, our Father's Day pick is up some 23% since we chose it, and we do believe it's got more upside ahead. So it's only $1. You can get your money back, and he says money back guarantee, right? So you're out $1. I think you can spare it. Anyway, hopefully we make you a whole lot of dollars. Go to 76research.com and take a look at some of our advice there for investing. Really, really important to do right about now, right? Is it not? Again, use code word dollar. My gift to you guys